Hello, and welcome to some yoga with Janelle. Let me just make sure we're working. Oh, we are working. That's so great. Okay, perfect. So, hey guys, how is it going? Oh, let me just turn on one more light here. Maybe that'll help some more. Ooh. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if that makes much of a difference, but we will try it out. Maybe it'll help later on. So welcome to some yoga with Janelle, some gentle-ish style of yoga. Tonight we're focusing on the hips, the whole pelvis area, low back, hamstrings, quads. It's not really just the hips. There's tons that goes into that whole area. And so let's get ready to move, enjoy a little bit of stretching on a Sunday night together. So if you are just jumping in, just diving in here, if you've got a yoga mat, great. If not, if you have a couple of feet of space, that's always helpful. Yeah, there's things, life in the way. It's okay, move the kids' toys out of the way. Maybe if you have a yoga block, maybe you want to have it handy. Or if you don't have one, maybe a nice big book. This one's about, 2.5 to 3 inches thick on one side. It's a little bit squishy, which is nice if you're sitting on it. And really, even if you want to start by sitting on a block, that is actually a great way to start to open up through the hips and getting both sits bones down on your block, kind of adjusting in, adjusting through. Oh, hey Donna, great to have you with me tonight. I feel great after my little bit of a break from last night. I counted it out. I have taught 37, I guess not including last night, 36 yoga classes since March 20th. That was the first time I went live in the evening to bring people free yoga. And I've been going strong ever since, except for yesterday where I felt like taking a little break. I just had nothing left to give. I was just laying on the couch and it was 10 to 8. And I was trying to get the motivation and I couldn't do it, and I took a break yesterday. But tonight we're back. We're feeling great, or at least I'm feeling great. So thank you for letting me be human and taking my own time, because I would like to still deliver and produce good quality classes for you guys each and every evening. And so I'm thinking about how to shift and kind of respect that work-life balance that I'd like to maintain, because I do still do some other stuff. So I was thinking, I've been talking about making the weekend ones half an hour long, which might be helpful for anyone who just only has half an hour. They can always reference one that was done on a weekend for more of that shorter class. But I was also thinking of making maybe the weekends ones. I want to support my yoga studios that I teach at. And so with them not being open and me teaching for free, that's not really helping them either. Like, yeah, it's good advertising and publicity and whatnot, but I'm streaming from my own page, not necessarily from theirs. So I was thinking of going in or recording a couple of classes that could be purchasable online, or maybe we can do like a live Zoom call kind of thing, because then I can see you guys too and interact. And we can kind of have a bit of a back and forth. So I'm flirting with that idea. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm still mulling around. I'll have a decision before next weekend for you guys, but that's what I'm thinking about. So let's start this evening, jumping on in to our own free practice tonight. Let's start in a nice seated position. So with me sitting on a block, and I usually sit like cross-legged as is, and I do the foot on foot position a little bit more like this, where my ankles are ish aligned. They're usually off a little bit just because I like a little bit more room outside. But when I'm sitting on a block and I have that little bit of height, first of all, right off the bat, I'm feeling a little bit more release through my low back. My posture is naturally a little bit better. I haven't even thought about rolling my shoulders back and down, but I still feel that length from the spine. And I do prefer to have the ankle in front of ankle kind of setup. So play around with that. If you are stuck in your old ways of always doing the exact same seated posture, mix it up a little bit. Maybe do the foot stacked on top or foot in front, or maybe you want to try a half lotus, tucking one foot up on more of the upper part of the thigh or the leg. I don't know what you need, but play around and try it. There's so many different seated postures and varieties. Even if you don't like the crisscross, if you want to bend a knee and hang out, that's fine, just as long as you can find that length from the spine. So let's get going here. Let's start, first of all, let's roll those shoulders back and down. I was listening to good old Dr. Jody Carrington this morning. Carrington? I'll need to listen to how she says it. And one of the things she was talking about is just people were asking her questions of how do you deal with this and how do you deal with that. And her first thing that she always tells people to do is roll your shoulders back and down, take a big inhale breath, and a big exhale. Because when your shoulders are dropped back and down, that is automatically a more relaxed state. And so that is a huge indicator for if you're feeling stressed, anxious, holding on to tension, no matter what it is, your shoulders are gonna start to creep up, hunch up. You're gonna start to squeeze those shoulder blades together. You're gonna start to just hold tension there. So not even if you're actively squeezing, there might just be tension that exists in those shoulder blades and in all of those shoulder muscles that connect in there. So rolling them back and down forces that more neutral. Then you can lift through the heart. You can grow tall through the top of your head, through that crown of the head. And now we're working on some alignment as well. So our body's starting to find back to that more natural position on how it was designed to be. And we can start to relax. And then when we mix that breath in there, that stimulates that parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest and digest system of the body. And so when you're resting and digesting, you're not in that flight or fight or freeze, you are starting to heal, you're starting to process what's going on. And so no matter what is happening around you, as you start to get stressed, roll those shoulders back and down. Even if you have to do it a couple of times, maybe you just really need to really squeeze those shoulders up and then let them fall heavy. And so as you're sitting here getting ready and starting to center in and become aware of your body, becoming aware of how you're doing today. Maybe you're already starting that scan and start it off with the shoulders. Where are your shoulders at? And then connect in with that breath. Can you start to really slow things down, start to feel settled? Big inhale. And nice and slow exhale. Slowly starting to let it all go. Notice how when you do that exhale though, are you shrugging your posture? Can you just simply let that exhale roll the shoulder blades down, but keep the length that you create on that inhale? So take another big inhale breath, find all of that length, and use that exhale, let it go. Outstanding. Feeling really good, or maybe you're not, maybe you're feeling stressed and anxious, but let's just take a moment to have the attitude that we want to approach our practice with. And so if there's stuff going on, you can choose in this moment how you want to feel. Whether you want to bring some joy, some gratitude into your practice, and if you're able to set any of that other drama aside. So maybe let's set an intention for our practice. You can let it be whatever you want. Maybe there's a little mantra or word of encouragement, or I don't know, even a Bible verse or a dedication, anything that you would love to focus on over our time together. Let's start to bring that into our practice. Maybe you repeat it a couple of times in your head, letting it resonate throughout your body, connecting in with that breath. Maybe you take one more time to repeat it. As you inhale, nice and slow, feel that length. That exhale, roll those shoulders back. Beautiful. Let's start to invite some movement into the body. A little wiggle into fingers, maybe toes. Maybe you drop your head slowly from one side to the next. I'm starting to wake up through the neck. That feels really great. I'm going to embrace that little neck stretch. I didn't have it planned, but I think that feels really good. So dropping your head, your ear over towards one shoulder. Don't hunch the shoulder up to try to make that connection. Just start to feel the stretch through the neck. If you want more, you can walk opposite fingertips out. If you're sitting on a block, that ground might be a little far. That's okay. So I have my head going down towards my left, and I'm walking my fingertips out towards my right ever so slightly, just to feel that extra pull. Another option is to bring left hand on top of the head. We're not actively cranking down, we're just adding a touch of weight into the pose to strengthen and lengthen through those neck muscles. Beautiful. Playing around here, gaze can go up to stretch more into the throat, or down to stretch more into the back of the head. I often get tension headaches, so this whole looking down one is absolutely my jam tonight. I must have also been really quite stressed and anxious yesterday. Over what? Who knows? But I'm definitely feeling it through my neck today. Excellent. Take a nice big inhale and an exhale. Beautiful. If your hand is on your head, slowly start to release it. And walk those fingertips in or that hand in. Drop the chin down to the chest, nice and slow. Take a little moment here. Feel that nice stretch along the back line of the neck. Maybe even actively kind of lift and push the head to feel more of that stretch. And then ear towards the other shoulder. Letting it drop down, still staying relaxed through those shoulders. Maybe you walk the left fingertips out or the opposite fingertips out. Maybe that right hand. Just gently add some weight onto the head. And perhaps you look down. Perhaps you look up. Find that sweet spot. I think we're all holding tension in our neck. It doesn't have to be a pandemic or anything like that for us to have some tight muscles here. Especially because our head is heavy. Your head can weigh between 8 and 11 pounds. I don't know the last time that you've been bowling, especially like 10-pin bowling, but that like 11, 12, 14-pound bowling ball is really heavy. And all you've got is your neck muscles, and I guess your back muscles and other supporting muscles to hold that big old noggin up on your shoulders. So giving those muscles some love is a great idea. All right, let's start to walk those fingertips back in, release the head, and drop that chin down towards the chest. Maybe you're even staring down at your feet. Roll the shoulders back and down, and take a moment, set the core. Let's use some of those supporting muscles to lift the head back up. Excellent. If you want, you can take a little look up, activating through the chin. So I'm lifting my chin upwards to feel that stretch through the throat. Nice big inhale. And an exhale. Excellent. Bring that head to a nice neutral position, sitting nice and tall. And let's connect some movement with the breath. So those inhales, sweep those arms up, reach it up nice and tall. Oh, it feels so good. Exhale, hands to heart. Coming all the way down. Release it down. So we're going to take, we'll take 4 more of these. Nice big inhales, reaching it up. Exhales, hands to heart. Beautiful. I was hoping the sun would stay out. My deck in the backyard here gets all of the evening sun, all that nice hot sun, and I was debating doing this video outside, but then the sun went away and the clouds came in. And there's a little bit of a breeze, but not like yesterday. All right. Let's reach up and hold nice and tall and strong. Maybe you interlace the fingers and flip the wrists up. That might be pretty intensive on your shoulders. That feels actually like a huge stretch for me. Sometimes I feel like I don't quite have all the arm and shoulder mobility that I should. So I prefer just coming to steeple. And so I'm not flipping of the wrist. There's no extra rotation happening through the arms. Reaching up nice and tall, finding all that length, pull those ribs in, keep pressing into the sits bones. Let's just tip on over towards one side, really reach. Exhale, coming back up, over towards the other side, reach a little more. Come on back, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Let's switch the feet. Still got to work with that non-dominant side, so bringing the other foot either on top or in front. Oh, it feels so extra weird this evening. Beautiful. All right, feeling into those sits bones, shaking it out, letting it feel nice and good. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up. Nice and big. Maybe you look back, maybe you tip the head back, maybe you get that little back bend in. Hands towards heart. Nice and strong. Reach it up. So we've already started to warm up this way. So let's just take one more. Reach it up. Nice and big. Start to feel that release. See if you can lift through the heart from here. So finding more length through that front line of the body. Bring the hands towards heart. Take a nice little tuck of the chin. Maybe a nice little bow or even a forward fold to counter those couple of moves. Beautiful. Come on back up. Release the hands. Hands on the knees. Add a little resistance. Roll those shoulders back and down. Notice, did they start to hunch back up? Find all of that length. And then bring your hand towards the opposite knee. Send that other hand reaching all the way around. Maybe it stays floating up in the air, just trying to reach back behind you. Maybe you want to press that hand in right by that tailbone, pressing in like a second spine. Let's get nice and tall. Find all that length. Exhale, press, twist a little deeper. Feel that nice big stretch. Excellent. Inhale, get a little taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Feeling that stretch all the way from the low back. Maybe even feel it into the hips, journeying up the back, twisting around. Maybe even that head goes looking over the shoulder. Let's release and come on back to our neutral, resting the hands on the knees. Roll those shoulders back and down. Let's reach for the opposite knee now. Reach that hand forward, sweep it all the way around, reach, reach, reach. Start to feel that twist coming all the way from the base of the spine. Let's inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, twisting a little deeper, maybe looking over that shoulder. Find that length, feel the vertebrae just spinning around. Outstanding. One more nice big inhale, nice and tall. Full exhale. And release, come on back towards center. Excellent. I am sitting on my block, so I'm going to come off of my block and make my way into an all fours position. So coming to that tabletop. If you need to pad up those knees, take a little moment to do so. Excellent. Beautiful. Just gonna tuck that back in there. Excellent. All right, so pressing into those hands and start to extend long through the crown of the head. This is all about creating some traction for the spine and trying to lengthen, giving those little jelly discs in between each of the vertebrae a moment to kind of suck back in. Relax and drop the belly down and start to look up. Take that nice back bend. Maybe you press into the hands for that little bit of extra. And tuck the chin around all the way through the spine. Pressing into those hands if you want that little extra. Or maybe really pulling that chin in, pressing up through those shoulder blades. Drop it down. Nice big inhale. Press in nice and strong. And exhale, tuck the chin around through the spine. Beautiful, move it through, nice looking up. Big inhale, breath. Then exhale. Nice angry cat. Pressing it in. All right, make your way to that nice neutral position. Make sure those fingers are nice and wide. Pressing in nice and strong. Take a little moment, engage through the core, so pull that belly button up and in. Maybe you take that quick exhale breath, or just really focus on pulling it in. Beautiful. I always start by bringing my right foot back, just simply because that's where the camera is and you guys can see that leg better. So I touch the toes down just to square those hips off. Walk left fingertips forward and taking a moment to feel that stabilizing through the hand, through the knee. And on that next exhale breath, start to float the leg up. Reach the arm up if you want a little more. Keep that chin nice and tucked. So really reaching here and starting to use some of those hip flexors, some of those shoulder muscles to keep the arm and the leg in place. Maybe you can feel that a little bit through the core. Let's accentuate that, bringing elbow towards knee. And reaching it back out for a couple of those nice little pulses. Using that exhale to bring them together. The inhale to reach out nice and long. Beautiful. Two more. Reach it out. Come together. Reach it out nice and long. Feel all of that length. And have the toes flexed so you're extending through the heel of the body here. Keep reaching those fingertips a little more. Beautiful. Drop the hand, drop the knee. Take a little moment to sway it out or shake the wrists. Whatever you feel you need more of. Sometimes if you're not used to all this tabletop and downward dog, the wrists don't quite have that strength, built up endurance. All right, let's make our way back to that nice tabletop position. Hands and wrists, elbows and shoulders nicely aligned. Fingers nice and wide, really spread them out. Beautiful. Left toes go back. Walk those right fingertips forward. Still pressing everything down in towards the ground. Take that moment, pull the core in. Nice and strong. Float the leg up. Float the hand up. Find your stability. Reach, reach, reach. Keep that chin nice and tucked. Excellent. And on the exhale, elbow towards knee. And then reach it out tall. Elbow to knee. Reach, reach, reach. Keep finding all of that length that you can. And keep reaching it out. Coming together. Reach it out. And one more. Elbow to knee. And reach it out tall and long. Make sure those toes are pointing down. Maybe take a little glance at them. Flexing through, extending through the heel. Reaching a little more. Beautiful. Drop the hand and drop the knee. Take that nice little sway. Maybe you gaze back at the toes. Beautiful. All right, let's find that nice stillness. Let's bring the knees nice and wide here. Then sit back on the feet. Reach those arms forward, coming into that nice child's pose. And dropping that head down. Maybe use that block or you stack palms to have something for the forehead and to press into. Sometimes it feels really good. That little third eye place is actually a trigger point for your pineal gland in your head. It's kind of a part of that little what is in the pineal gland? Great question. I know that it has rods and cones. It is a literal third eye of the brain. But what it's in charge of for function-wise, I'm drawing a blank on. That's okay, though. It's probably me be human. Nice child's pose here. So as you relax, as the weight sinks into those hips, you might start to feel a little release. Maybe through those inner thighs, maybe through that low back. Nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. Soften, let it go. Beautiful. Start to press into those hands. And with control, coming back up. Bringing those knees back to neutral. And moving into our downward dog. So tucking the toes under. Pressing into those hands. Finding that length. Maybe you're pedaling out the feet. This is your first one today. Excellent. Today I'm grateful I'm so dark in all of these. Mostly so that you can see all the dog hair on my pants. I was out brushing my dog before this. Getting rid of that undercoat. Excellent. Alright, press real strong into those hands. Feel all of that length. Pressing into the shoulders. Open up through the shoulders. Imagine dialing those shoulder blades out. Feel that strong stability all the way through there. Beautiful. Maybe you drop one knee down a little bit. Getting a big stretch through the calf of that other leg. Trading to the other side. Yeah, we're working our arms here. I know we're still holding this. All right, find that neutral. Look towards the front. Maybe take a nice big step. Or a couple of steps into a forward fold. Connecting with that breath. Nice big inhale. And exhale. See if you can soften. See if you can release. Becoming aware of where you're holding on to that tension throughout the body. Is it in your hamstrings? Is it in that low back, middle back, shoulder blades, and the neck? Give it a nice shake. No. Excellent. All right, let's start to move out of this. Nice inhale, halfway lift. Are you coming to show off your nice brush job? All right, find all that length through the crown of the head. Come say hi. Come here. Say hi. Hi, all my yogis. All right, in that halfway lift, bend the knees, sink the hips, sweep those arms up. Quick little chair pose here. And press all the way up to standing. Reach, reach, reach. And hands to heart center. Beautiful. Release the hands down. Inhale, sweep them up. Feel all that length. Press into the feet. Notice how you can get a little bit taller. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. Feeling great. Feeling oh so good. Excellent. Standing in a nice firm mountain pose. Big inhale breath connecting in. Just taking a moment here. Letting it go. Let's step those right toes back, coming into a nice warrior two. So we're pointing them back towards that long edge of the mat. Front toes pointing forward. To make this more gentle, bring the stance a little bit closer together for more intensity. You're adding more distance for it. Let's bring a bend to that front leg. So maybe you start with your hands down tonight if those shoulders are sore. Imagining that opening up of the hip. So my knee is staying over that front foot. It's not wobbling in or outwards. In is more common. But I'm just imagining that spin open through that back just to get more into the hip. And then if you're ready, reach those arms out. Maybe you sink a little deeper. Take a nice big inhale and breathe. Remember to breathe. Exhale, let it go. You are allowed to breathe even though I'm not cueing it. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, let's start to straighten through that front leg. I want to reach my arms up. I just really want to find some length today through my spine. Exhale, let's sink it back into that nice warrior two. Beautiful. Keep imagining this right hip spinning open and find that strength. Excellent. Strength through the front leg. Reach those arms up. Excellent. Exhale. Bend into the knees. Release those arms. Excellent. Oh, feeling so good. All right, so hanging out in this warrior two, let's bring the hands behind the back, interlace them, and pull the hands down. Lift through the heart. So as the hands are pulling down, we are lifting through the heart. We've got both motions happening. And then remember to sink through that front leg. Beautiful. Let's align the shoulders coming forward. Feeling that little twist through the spine. And moving towards our humble warrior. And so bowing it down. Finding that sweet spot. Maybe the body comes right onto the leg. Maybe the body is off the leg slightly. Excellent. And so for more of that true humble warrior, we're trying to still keep our legs in that same position, like almost like the left hip is rolling backwards and pressing firm into that right hip. So just keep trying to find that openness through the right hip and keep that adjustment. You can notice it through the glutes if you bring your hands onto the small of your back. Are you hanging out forward? This is what I see often, because if you're leaning more off of your leg, odds are you're kicking that hip out, and then it's easier to do things like binds and whatnot. But if you can still, see, I'm still off of my leg here, but I still have my glutes tucked inwards. Still have that strength through my legs. Beautiful. Yeah, I know we've been holding this a long time. Hope you still love me, Mom. Let's start to come out of that. So maybe your hands are still behind your back. Press firm into those legs. Use those strong leg muscles. Reach it out straight through the leg. There's your break. Letting it be there. Let's move this into the triangle pose. So maybe you kick that hip out. Whoop, towards the right. Reach it forward and drop the hand down. Reach, top arm up. Excellent. So just like we imagine that openness through the right hip, let's also imagine openness through that right shoulder. Almost like you're reaching that hand backwards a bit. Keeping in mind where the palm is your palm facing forward? Lots of times I see this with people's palm facing backwards, and then you have this like little rotation happening through the shoulder. And if that feels good, and if that's where your stretch wants to hang out, let's see if we can grab onto that doorknob, open the door, feel that openness through the shoulder. All right, bend through that knee, float on back up. Beautiful warrior two. Excellent, nice and strong. Let's straighten through that front leg. Both toes pointing towards the long edge of the mat now. I'm getting ready to come into our wide-legged forward fold. So whether you want to be a little bit longer or maybe a little bit shorter, your choice to play around with. Let's find that length through the heart. Bring the hands back behind you. Maybe even pull the hands down and leading with that heart. Bowing forward. Maybe you reach those arms up off the back. Maybe you drop that head down. I'm wanting to shake it out a little bit here, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to release my hands, reach them down towards the ground. Feeling that nice release. I'm feeling this on my low back, but I've been sitting tons today. Had a beautiful, restful day. Excellent. All right, let's start to bring a little bend through one knee, through the other side. I'm just starting to warm up those inner thighs and starting to get a little more rotation through the hip. Just feeling maybe that, I can't say that you'd be feeling warmth here, but you're just starting to really lubricate into those hip sockets. If you want more, you can walk your hands to one side and the other as you deepen into it, or you can just keep it a gentle bend and a sway. So getting the body ready for some fun stuff we'll do when we meet back here. Excellent. All right, find that nice neutral position. Maybe you're pressing into your hands. Maybe even if your hands are on your legs, that works as well. Sometimes that feedback feels really good. Let's bring a gentle bend to the knees. Sink the hips down ever so slowly so you can lift the head up. Coming into this little halfway mark. And then press and release. Come all the way up. Reach it up. Nice star pose. Excellent. Bring the hands to heart center. Point. Left toes pointing forward. The right toes still pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Make sure you're good there. Let's sink into our warrior two. Nice and strong. If you want more, you can come up onto the tippy toes of your front toes. Just if you want a little more through the quad, through the calf. Or if you think that's craziness, that's fine too. You can lower the heel back down. Let's sweep that bottom arm, reaching forward. And coming up on those back toes, so a nice high lunge. Hips are squared towards the front. Beautiful high lunge or warrior one. Let's release those hands and step it towards the top of the mat. Take that nice big inhale, reach it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach it up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Letting the head hang heavy and giving it a nice shake. Excellent. Maybe bend through the knees a little bit. Maybe bend both the knees, releasing that low back. Excellent. All right, let's come up halfway. Find that length through the spine. Slight tuck of the chin, roll those shoulder blades back, bend through the knees, sink the hips, not hanging out here long, just sweep those arms up. Quick little chair pose, maybe you sink it down, launch it up, come all the way up to standing, and start center. Beautiful, connecting in and taking 3 full breaths in your mountain pose, sensing into the body, becoming aware of how you're doing, feeling into the muscles, finding all those shadow areas, the tightness. Beautiful. One more big inhale. Full, complete exhale. Let's sweep those arms up on that next inhale. Reach up. Nice and tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Outstanding. Stepping those left toes back and coming into that nice warrior two. So left toe is pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Right toe is still pointing forward. Take a moment with maybe your hands down on your hips to adjust. Imagine this knee staying nice and locked over in line with the foot. So even if the leg is a little bit more straight, that's okay. It's still tracking with the same direction as the foot. And then let's spin the left hip open. Maybe reach those arms out, ready to go a little deeper. Maybe you bend a little more through that knee. Excellent. Sinking nice and strong. Find that sweet spot. So I'm pressing hard into my feet here. Nice and hard. And then I'm also still trying to pull up on those inner thighs. See how as I engage there, there's this like tuck of the tailbone, tuck of the pelvis. Nice and strong through the legs here. I don't think I could get them any stronger. Beautiful. Let's straighten through the leg. Reach it up. Exhale. Come on back down. Beautiful. Warrior two. Straighten through the leg. Yep. Give it a nice break. Reach up. Exhale. Float it back down. Nice. Warrior two. And let's take one more of those. Reach it up. And exhale. Sink into that warrior two. Make sure that knee is still over the foot. Bring the hands back behind the back. Actively reaching those hands down, lifting through the heart. And spin the shoulders and coming towards the front. So they're probably not going to come all the way. Keep pressing into the feet. Then exhale. And take that bow forward for that nice humble warrior. So maybe you just want to hang out here. Maybe you want to float the arms up off the back. Maybe you lock the legs in place. See, you can swing it around if you want, but we're coming to a forward fold in a bit. So if you want to play around with the body off of the leg, maybe you drop the hands. I can't do the bind, but if you are wondering what it is, your right arm hangs out here. You've got to kind of get that shoulder in line with the knee to reach the hand up. Left hand tucks around. And then you reach for your fingertips. I know I must be close, but I can't quite get it yet. But that's what the bind is. Once you get that bind, it feels really good to open up through the shoulders. So even if you have a strap and you want to go for it, could be fun. Yes, I know we're still holding in that thigh. You're feeling it, how strong it is, how strong it's becoming. All right, if you're trying on the bind, let's work our way back. Maybe bring both hands into the low back. Press so hard into the feet and start to float all the way up. Meet back in that warrior two. And give yourself that deserved break. Straighten through the front leg. Excellent. Get ready to come into that triangle pose. So kick that left hip out. Whoop. Reach right hand forward. Reach. And drop it down. Drop or lift through that left arm. Reaching up. Maybe overhead, having that palm facing outwards, trying to be straight through both of the legs. But if you need to have a little bend through that front leg, I often just hang out with my knee on it as I get chatting about stuff. It's just my subconscious ability. All right, feeling that nice stretch. Keep imagining that left hip rolling open just as the shoulder, maybe reach that arm a little bit farther back. All right, let's journey on out of this. Bend strong through that front knee. Sweep on back up to our warrior two. Pressing nice and strong. Sink. Beautiful. You release those hands down. Tuck them into those imaginary jean pockets. Straighten through both the legs. Have both toes face towards the long edge of the mat. Let me face forward here for you guys now. Roll those shoulders back and down. Make those elbows become invisible. Engage through the core. Then exhale nice and slow with control, protecting that low back. And start to come into your forward fold. Feeling that back be nice and straight. Maybe feel all of that length through the spine. If you want, you can reach the arms up. And drop that head down. Maybe just release through the hands. Maybe you got that block handy. Beautiful. Loving this. For the longest time, this was my favorite posture. I craved it in every class. Restorative yin, flow, it doesn't matter. I was always ready for this posture. Maybe it was just fun to be upside down. Maybe I felt good at it and I felt confident in it. So especially in that nice public setting. Not that I'm great at it. It's not like I can get my head down and do a headstand or anything like that, but it feels so good as well. Or at least for me and my body. It feels good on my hammies, my inner thighs. All right, let's play around with this pose. Seems we've been here once before. Let's start to get a little more into our hips. So let's start by walking hands over to one side. Bring a nice bend through that knee. Feel all of the length through that opposite side. Walk hands over towards the other foot. Bend through that knee. Straighten through the other side. Excellent. Coming back over. So you can, option is to keep it gentle, just hanging out here, even if you're up a little bit higher. Great option there. If you want more from it, then you really bend through that knee and you start to drop those sits bones. So it's okay if the heel pops up. You can just call it a toe stand instead. And then you can play around with that extended leg. Maybe you want the toes to still point forward. Odds are it'll feel better to come onto the heel. Maybe flexing the foot a little bit, getting more into that hamstring. Maybe you've got the ankle flexion. So the nice bend through the ankle, or maybe you even sit down onto the ground here. One knee bent, lots of extension through the other side. Or if you want to pretend you have that ankle flexion, you can always sit on a block. You can do fun things here. Bring both hands to the inside of that bent knee. You can reach it open if you're feeling good on your balance. Maybe even float that hand up. Excellent. Take a little mudra, a little hand yoga. Drop it back down and close it off. So we're getting tons of stretch. You might really feel this on the back line of the knee. You might even be hyperextending a little bit here. So let's pull those kneecaps up, add a gentle bend to that knee, starting to soften through there. And then I'm landing my toe, pressing into my hands, and starting to come back into that wide-legged forward fold. Walk your hands back through center. Take a moment here just to simply hang. Whatever variation, whether you want your hands planted out or reaching for your ankles or your knees. Start to notice how one leg feels compared to the other. Are you creating a little openness? At the bare minimum, hopefully we're at least creating some awareness. All right, walk your hands towards the other side. Gentle bend through that knee. Beautiful. Take a moment, walk your hands back towards the same side we were just on. Walk your hands back. Just prep the body. We're telling it what we're doing. So maybe you just simply hang out here, leg extended. Maybe you're working on touching towards the ground. Maybe you're sinking into those hips a little bit. And if you're ready to journey down with me, bending through the knee, my toes pop up or my heel pops up, that's okay, we'll call it a toe stand. And my extended leg automatically flips the toes up, getting that nice stretch through the back line, bottom line of that leg. So maybe you're hanging out here and that's enough. Maybe you want to work on that toe stand, pressing into the toes, coming a little higher up on them. Or you can bring both hands inside. Keep finding length through the crown of the head here. Maybe you reach on up. Keep finding all of that length you possibly can. Maybe you find your balance. Lift that bottom arm up. There's a fun bind here as well. Same kind of wrapping around the leg idea. So shoulders got to make it to the knee because your elbow doesn't bend normally to reach around. I don't know how people with long arms do it. Maybe you just want to drop your hand behind your back. Beautiful. Keep hanging out here. Feeling tons of that stretch through the leg. All right, let's land it. Maybe frame the knee. Getting ready to come out of this. Taking a little moment, bring a gentle bend. There you go. That's English. To that knee, lift through the kneecaps, just protecting all of those ligaments in there. And then planting that foot, start to press on up, back to your wide-legged forward fold. Beautiful. Feeling all those hamstrings, the inner thighs, really starting to wake up through the body here. Excellent. Let it feel good. Let the head hang nice and heavy. Give that head a nice shake. No. Make sure you have super wild hair for when we come up. It's the most fun. All right. Let's come up halfway. Nice flat back. Maybe you rest your hands just above your knees. Roll those shoulders back and down. Gentle bend through the knees. Sink the hips down. Get ready for that rocker hair as you come up halfway. Shoulders are far from the ears. Press all the way up. Reach up. Nice and tall, a nice star pose. Maybe you're reaching out, maybe you've interlaced at the fingers. Hands come down to heart. Spin, right toes forward. Left toe is still pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Sink it into that nice warrior two. Beautiful. Keep opening up through that hip, through that left hip. Excellent. Bring hands to heart center. Maybe you sink a little deeper. Excellent. Find that length. And let's twist towards the right. And at some point, you're hopping up on those back toes, making this into your high lunge, testing your balance. Maybe you sweep those arms up. You can be in high lunge, or you can drop that heel down if you'd rather be in your warrior one. Bend through that knee. Nice little quad stretch. Release the hands. Maybe you step with control all the way up. Top of the mat. Great job. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Bowing down. Nice big stretch. So the wide-legged forward fold gets those inner thighs nice and stretchy. Our normal forward fold gets those hamstrings a little bit more. And so if you were expecting to touch your toes here and you didn't, that's okay. That's not that expectation. And we haven't really worked our hamstrings overly yet tonight. Beautiful. All right. Where are we at for time? Oh, we got a couple minutes left. All right, let's inhale. Nice halfway lift. Roll those shoulders back and down. Find all of that length. Beautiful. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Beautiful chair pose. Reach those arms up. Maybe you sink a little deeper. Reach up a little higher. Press all the way up to standing. Reach, 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 reach. Nice and tall. Hands to heart. Excellent. All right, I am wanting to play around with a little bit of balance posture here this evening. So planting into your feet, squeezing through the toes, having equal balance, left foot to right foot, heels to toes. Arches are nice and supported. We're dialing our knees outwards, pulling into the outer lines of our legs. Beautiful. All right, let's shift the weight towards our right side. Bring those left toes up. Maybe you reach that knee or bring that knee up all the way. Quick little Captain Morgan pose here. Excellent. Drop it back down and start to sweep that foot back. And find maybe where you want to touch it down. Maybe you come right into your warrior three. Keep rolling that left hip down. Arms can be out to stabilize. Find that length through the crown of the head. So pressing firm into that standing leg, into that right leg. Imagining those toes pointing down. Excellent. You can do hands at heart center. You can reach it out and fly. You can even squeeze those shoulder blades if you want a little more. You can reach the hands forward for a little more core engagement. See if you can press into that standing leg, lift that other leg a little higher. Beautiful. Let's start to come up with control. Coming all the way up, back up to standing. You can bring the knee forward if you want. And then drop it down. Great job. And so our warrior three gets really challenging when we start to roll that hip back down, making it level. But if you need to keep it open, that's totally fine too. We'll just call it a half moon pose instead. All right, let's come into the other side. Grounding into the feet, feeling nice and rooted, maybe finding a little point on the floor to focus in on. Dialing those knees outwards, engaging through the outer lines of the legs. And start to put the weight into that left side of the body. Float those right toes up. Maybe the knee comes up. Start to straighten and kick it back. Maybe you're dragging that big toe on the ground, finding that point where you start to bow forward. And then you got to kick that leg up. Be brave at some point, using those arms to balance. So right here, my hip is lifting, and that's okay. But if I want to work a little bit harder through those low back muscles, I'm rolling that hip down. I don't know if you can notice the difference. Extending a little more. Maybe you're reaching those arms out. Maybe you fly your wings, squeeze those shoulder blades. Maybe you reach forward. Pressing into that standing leg, nice and firm. Beautiful. Keep trying to roll that hip down. Excellent. All right, let's sweep things back up with control. Come on, back up to standing. Maybe bring right knee forward and drop it down. Great job. I'm going to take a couple of steps out. Beautiful. All right, nice big inhale. Sweep those arms up. Find all of that length. Maybe you want a back bend. Exhale, come back towards neutral, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep up nice and tall. Exhale, start to bow forward and coming into your forward fold. Excellent. Nice inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. Take that nice big step back into our downward dog. Beautiful. How do the legs feel now? Maybe you bend through the knees, press into those hands, and then straighten through the legs, starting to notice the difference before versus after. Excellent. All right. Nice big inhale. And on that exhale, drop those knees down. Take your child's pose. Feeling that softness through the body. Feeling all that length through the spine. Maybe you want to create a little pull sensation. Opening up through the body a little bit more. Maybe create that little push sensation. Just working through the shoulders a little bit more. Excellent. Let's press on into those hands. Come on up. And sweep things around. Coming in to a seated. And then reclining back and down. Having those knees bent. Pressing all of the vertebrae and the spine into the mat. I love the knees bent because I can feel my low back pressing in. I can't slide my hand in underneath, whereas if I bring my legs long, I can feel that arch through the spine here. I'm countering that. Beautiful. Let's take a nice big inhale. Find all of that length. I'm going to take a nice good morning stretch here. Reaching up overhead. Exhale, release. Rolling those shoulders back and down. Finding all that softness. Excellent. Let's bring left ankle onto right knee, hanging out in our figure four here. Starting to feel that nice stretch. Simply sending the knee backwards. That's getting more into that IT band. You will still be feeling this probably in the hip flexor, but that it's just working some different muscles happening right here. Starting to feel really good. Excellent. Big exhale. All right, start to relax a little bit through that knee. And then start to float right leg up. Reaching on wherever you would like to. So maybe you just want to hold that front leg and release that right leg back down. That's fine. Maybe you want to reach on through, grabbing it at the thigh, hugging both legs in. Feel that nice big stretch through that left side. Really getting into some deep hip muscles here. So don't rush it. Don't all of a sudden jump into your backs and say, no, I should be able to pull my legs in this much. Start nice and slow and easy and let your body warm up to this pose, to this posture, taking some time to release. Imagine all that tension we hold in our shoulders. Well, we hold probably just as much, if not way more, in our hips. Hips are, if you look at the size of a hip joint, the hip socket versus a shoulder socket, like I swear they're at least like double the size. Like it's a huge difference. Your hips are so strong, so large, and there's all of that room in there for all those tendons and muscles. And so we gotta take time. We can't rush this process at all, the releasing of the hips. We can warm them up, we can take some movements, but at some point, even if you're pulsing it here, and whether you're hugging the legs in or if you're walking a little side to side, it's okay to still take movement in this. You don't have to be perfectly still, but it does still take time to let it go. So maybe you need that big inhale breath, fill the lungs, and exhale side out nice and loud. Ah. See if you could let it go. Shake it out. Outstanding. If you want to add some variations into this, if simply hugging the legs in towards the body isn't feeling like enough of a distraction for your mind, you can start to straighten through the right leg. Oftentimes, people get so focused on having the toes or the foot be perfectly straight up towards the ceiling that now they're no longer stretching through that left side. So don't forget to still pull those toes in towards the face, feeling that nice stretch. Maybe you even want to reach the hands above that other leg, reaching on above the knee, maybe even for the toes, whatever works really good for you and your body. Beautiful. Let it feel really good. As you're releasing, you're more than welcome to add that depth into it, continuing to pull those legs in. Maybe you find that edge where it's definitely uncomfortable, but it's not painful. If you're hanging out in that pain zone, back it off a little bit. That's never the goal of yoga. The goal of yoga is more of that self-love and appreciation. It's not a torture session. This is not Cirque du Soleil. There's never that expectation. All right, if that leg is extended, let's bring a bend back to that knee. Let's start to release ever so slowly, keeping the leg still in the same position, but releasing those arms, reach it out nice and wide. Maybe you want the T, maybe you want the cactus arms, and then start to drop those legs towards the right. Coming into a nice twist, keeping both shoulder blades planted down, so maybe you don't roll over as high or as low on that right side. Maybe you bring that right hand on top of the legs. Gaze can go to the left if you want to include the neck in the twist, twisting all the way from the hips through the spine, feeling it maybe a little through the shoulders and through the neck. Wonderful. Big inhale, feel still the leg through the spine, and exhale, see if you can soften. Are you holding any tension anywhere? Maybe you want to move just a touch deeper. Beautiful. Let's return that neck towards normal. Slowly start to release the legs, bring them up all the way. If they're still crossed, let's uncross the legs. I'm going to take a little moment here and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Find that stillness. Beautiful. Let's come into our other side now. So bring that right ankle onto the left knee. Take a moment here, open up, send that right knee as far back as you can. Feel that nice twist or that nice stretch through that IT band, through more of the fleshy part of the leg, the sideline of the leg. Nice openness. I feel like I haven't done this pose with you guys for a while. I'm sorry, it's so glorious. This feels so good. All right, let's start to release a little bit, bringing that right knee back to a more neutral position. And then when you're ready, let's float that left leg up, reach on through wherever you'd like to find yourself. Maybe you'd even rather use a strap. Great option. Hug those legs in towards the chest. Feel free to take that movement, rock from side to side. A nice restorative option, if you've got even a table or a chair or a block, is letting that block hang out underneath the foot. So my left foot is kind of standing into the block a little bit. Works a little bit better even against the wall, but this is a nice little variation for that, but I like to rock. So if the shoulders don't like to hold on to the leg, if you haven't quite mastered the relaxing of the shoulders, keeping the legs in place to feel that stretch, it's a good option. Finding something for that left leg to rest it on. Beautiful. Keep trying to have length through the spine, so that slight tuck of the chin. And keep hugging those legs in as you find that depth. Not rushing this side either, giving it some time to settle in. And if you notice that the body is releasing, maybe it's not just releasing tension, or maybe it is just straight up tension, and it's making you feel things. I don't know what those things are. Maybe it's different emotions or sensations. Maybe you're frustrated all of a sudden. Maybe you're clenching your teeth a little bit. Remember to relax. Remember to let it go. You've got to feel it to heal it. So if you are feeling things, I was connecting with this earlier today because I was getting stressed and frustrated over what? I have no idea. There was no major stressors in my life other than the obvious circumstances. Maybe I was disappointed that I couldn't actually be with my Sunday morning family, or I just miss people, or who knows what it was, but I was stressed, and then I got mad at myself for being stressed, so I just suppressed it. And that really isn't a healthy response. Maybe in the moment you don't have time to deal with it if you've got kids or a situation developing, but it is important to take time to feel what you're feeling and going through, because if you never interact with it, you'll never be able to fully release it. If you want to straighten through that left leg and play around with some different variations, go ahead. One thing I also noticed that I do is when I think I'm feeling it or I'm processing something, I might just be mentally processing it. I might just be thinking about it, thinking about how I should be feeling it or dealing with it or feeling or who knows what. But you need to connect it in with the heart. Sometimes you really, especially if you're angry or frustrated, find a safe place, let a big scream out, pound the pillow, who knows what you need to actually do. But if it's in a safe place, let those emotions out. Why bottle them up? It's better to learn how to deal with them safely than to just not deal with them. It's another little tidbit from Jody. That's like the summation of what she was talking about today. All right, let's transition this in towards our nice twist. So if you're rocking side to side, if you've got movement happening, let's find that stillness. Let's bring a bend to that left leg. Let's let go of the legs, but keep them in that same position. Reach those arms out wide like a T, or maybe on cactus, or arms up overhead. Whatever feels good. Drop those legs towards the left. Wonderful. Coming down to whatever feels good. Trying to keep both shoulder blades really rooted down in towards the ground. Like accentuating that twist, maybe bring that left hand on top of the legs, not actively pulling, just adding the weight in towards, letting it feel just delightful. Maybe gaze goes towards the right. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Take that nice big inhale. Yeah, there's the restriction of the twist, but keep finding length through the spine. And exhale, let it go. See if you can soften. Are you squeezing any muscles? Can you be as soft as possible here? Letting go of all of that tension. Beautiful. Beautiful. Feels so good. All right, let's return that neck to a nice neutral position. Release the legs if that hand was on top. And slowly start to swing the legs back up and uncross them. Take a little moment to windshield wiper if you need a little more release through the hips. That was a pretty big stretch on those sides. And then getting ready to settle down and finish off. Let's reset that spine either by hugging the knees in towards the chest, giving them a nice big squeeze, or maybe you reach through the legs for the feet, coming into that nice happy baby. Pulling the knees in towards the underarms, feet go up towards the ceiling, slight tuck of the chin. Beautiful. You can take that nice little rock from side to side, but really feel that spine. Add that resistance, actively pulling into the feet, actively kicking into the hands. Beautiful. And now take some time to play around with your practice. What else does your body need? What do you want? What can you take? What would feel really good? Excellent. I'm wanting a little waterfall, a little more hamstring stretch here. If you're ready to settle into your Shavasana, by all means, find that pose, that position, settle in. If you're playing around on one side, find that little bit of balance on the other side as well. Don't forget about the other side of the body. Excellent. And then in whatever position you find yourself for your final Shavasana, really roll those shoulder blades back and down. See if you can start that journey into calmness right from that motion. And then connect in with the breath. Start taking some nice, slow, long, deep inhales and slow, long exhales. Getting all the air out you possibly can. Maybe even take that last little to get it all out. And then start that nice, big inhale process all over again. Breathing in. Letting it go. Breathing at the rate that you need to find your own peace and stillness. Nice big breaths. And taking all the time you need in this Shavasana. So feel free to take a couple of minutes, maybe play a song in the background and just enjoy a little meditation during that. That's one thing I miss about these classes is I don't play music. I always like that in Shavasana. But take the time that you need to enjoy the end of your practice, taking some time to settle in, feel through the body. How are you feeling? Start to build that awareness. And don't just leave it as awareness. Can you start to respond to that information? So I thank you so much for joining me this beautiful Sunday evening for a little bit of yoga online. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, a wonderful day. I hope that you find joy in every moment, genuine joy, not faked joy. There's so much to be grateful for. And so enjoy the rest of your night. And I pray that you are always blessed. So thank you so much. Namaste. We will see you tomorrow night. Cool. All right. Have a good one. Beautiful.